oh, I wish I could manipulate this good and then use it for good. It's me, Milan, Brad, here for Hedda, another film by Nia DaCosta with Tessa Thompson. Oh, I forgot to look up the release date, but it's a 2025 film with a reported or estimated $10 million budget that got a glorious releasing on October 22nd, 2025. Glorious worldwide, so domestic and international, $15,358. Damn, Amazon just going all out with those releases. But
in all fairness, it was only released in I think it was some very few select theaters and mostly the film things. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah,
not studios, but the festivals.
Oh, gotcha. It says in the U.S. and the United Kingdom. So, but it doesn't say the number of screens. Which, if it's more than one in each area, I'd be shocked. But that is Hedda, Nia DaCosta with Tessa Thompson as the lead, adapting a play, Hedda Gabler, from Henrik Ibsen. We're going to jump into the 420 reviews. For anyone who hasn't checked this out yet, 420 reviews is a 20-word poem with 4 lines per word until you take the 4 and get all the way to that glorious 20. Did I say 4 per word? 4 per line.
Yeah, 4 per line.
Brad knows I'm
4 per word.
Severely sleep deprived. Severely. But I'll jump in with mine. To chaos the puppets, spin plates for life, shatter and unshatter alike, make a web, then pull the strings, darling.
I'll go next. I've got bored with domestic life, craves control and excitement, seeks influence over others, manipulates those around her, secrets unfold with consequences.
Mean girl gone bad, between him and her, flashy gifts mean nothing, the truth is inevitable, cheers for the manuscript.
Very nice. And if anyone would like their 420 review included here, go over to moviesdope.com. They're free tiers, free trials to go in, jump in the Discord. When I ask for the 420 review, drop it and we'll add it. Yeah, all I knew is it was Tessa Thompson and Nia DaCosta, someone who said after the Marvels, they hadn't even, thanks to Hollywood's pay structure or whatever, hadn't paid off their student loans from film school, but gloriously talented writer-director. What'd you all think? Because literally knew nothing else going in.
So, great acting. Music was phenomenal, and I think it was very well done as far as placement and things like that. It was very unique in that usually when you have a stage play taken to the screen, they try to lose a lot of it, but it still had so many elements, at least the feel of the stage, which I absolutely loved. I thought that was really well done. So, overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a interesting take on the original for that. And considering I'm not the type who usually likes Gossip Girl type things, and I stayed till the end, I think that says something. And this is very Gossip Girl.
You know what? Actually, great. Reminds me of something. I saw Forbidden Fruits in theaters recently, which is another adaptation of a stage play. And it on paper has that Gossip Girl, has that OC, Desperate Housewives, all that there for just the glorious slop that I used to enjoy as a kid of just hyper dramatic. And it, unfortunately for me, failed in every single way, shape, and form. But this one, once I found out it was a play, I was like, holy shit, this is a fucking masterpiece adaptation. And if I never found that out, there would never have been part of me that was like, this doesn't feel like it was a film. It was just, I could see it on the stage, but it worked perfectly as a film regardless. Yeah, Brad, what'd you think?
I also knew absolutely nothing going into this. I didn't know it was a play until afterwards when I started doing a little bit more research on this. I'm going to echo pretty much what Milan said. The acting, Tessa Thompson, amazing. I thought the score was really well done. There's weird, breathy moments throughout the film too, which kind of added some of the suspense and some of the chaos. I think the filmography and the set design was super nice. For me, probably not a movie that I would probably necessarily go to, but now that I know that it's a play, I might want to revisit how I think about some of that stuff.
Okay.
I might want to watch it a second time just to kind of get everything. There was a few small things I didn't really like. One of them is that there's chapters or like intermissions in like the same font that I was kind of like, we could probably do without. But they made some changes that I think probably benefited because this play was originally done in like the 1800s. They pull it up, 1891. So they modified some things, which I thought brought it more up to the times now, and I think it benefited having some of those changes in there too. So overall, I mean, it was solid. I'd rewatch it again just to make sure all my opinions stay the same. But
yeah, is that a good transition into if you have any Bradley Cooper's trivia? Or Bradley Cooper is much sexier than the real thing.
I expended all my trivia that it was a play, and the play was written in 1891 in Munich. That's all I got.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I did think that I knew going in was that Tessa Thompson's character was gender switched, which made me look into it because I was like, if she was supposed to be a man, how the fuck would this have worked? Like, it's literally, and then I looking into it, her other love interest was a man, so that's where it was. But we talked about this beforehand. The only other interesting thing I learned from that, or the only other thing I learned from that, is that this was not supposed to be one night. It was supposed to be like over some 5 different events, and like one place was a brothel where somebody loses something, just to be vague, and then they go back.
He does lose something, doesn't he?
But like it was supposed to be this huge sprawling thing, and seeing it as the one night thing, I just assuming, having no exposure to the original text, it felt like, oh, this was such a better way to make all the tension boil. Because if you have huge gaps in between, that can pull the tension away, that kind of thing. At least in my mind, without seeing it firsthand. Yeah.
So one of the things I alluded to was the gender swamp. Since you brought that up in the non-spoiler section, I thought that brought up more to a more modern audience, where back in the late 1880 or late 1800s, early 1900s, or however that works, I think it's 1900s, that wouldn't have been as acceptable as it is now. So I do think that made a nice change. That made for an interesting dynamic between the love triangle square thing that she had going on. So I thought that change was really nice.
Cool. I want to make a reference my partner would love, jump into the abyss and get into our, dope ratings then spoilers. So nobody needs me to say this, but as everybody knows since the beginning of time, the dope rating is an S tier to F and then a wild card that replicates the dopeness that cinema could be, starting with at S, ayahuasca, mushroom, edible, joint, skunky, and that wild card is Molly, where it's just, you cannot say it's good, but damn, could it have been fun. Mine was mushroom. It just knocked out of the park on, like, not a single moment was I like, that's a little off. That could be better. Just hit. How about y'all?
I'll go with was it edibly joint, right?
Yeah, that would be B minus, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say with that. I'd say with edibly joint. I would say that I want to watch it a second time. I think my rating would go up a little bit because I felt disconnected through some of it, just because I didn't know some of the backstory, and had I seen the play, I think it'd probably be higher. But I want to rewatch it now that I know more information after watching it, so I'd want to watch it a second time, and then it might go up a little bit from there.
Very cool.
Wait, what are the first 3 again? The top 3?
The S tier is ayahuasca, then it's mushroom, then edible, then joint. And skunky.
I'm gonna go with an edible mushroom here.
Yo, very cool. Well, if y'all want to jump into spoilers, that's replicating the acts that Brad is such a fan of. 5. Shit, I don't have 3 hands. I can't do the Roman numeral. Wait, no. 4. I don't know if it's 3, 2, 1. Dude, I don't know if your jaw dropped this hugely, and I won't be very explicit about it, but the staging when Hedda's female love interest, I need to pull up all the names so that I can talk about it. When she had been in the water and she went to impress all the men, and then right at the last second she turned and you could see the whole blouse was wet. I was just like, that was the most holy fucking shit. Hedda knew obviously from her angle that she was sending her into embarrassment or possible ridicule and just all the boys laughing at her and being weird. But that was like the big holy fucking shit moment. Probably second would be the manuscript's fate. But God, I don't even know how you plan that to be such a horrifying reveal and like hide it without it feeling unnatural with the camera angles. But yeah, what stuck out for y'all? That was Eileen.
Eileen Lovebog. One of the things that stuck out to me, and I learned this afterwards, is I really like the set design. And due to the strike that happened, they had some extra time where they already had the sets built. So they got to use the sets and kind of act a little bit more, and they got a little bit more practice in before they actually shot the movie, so it wasn't just kind of like a throw you on the set and go, which I think really helps with that dynamic between Tessa Thompson and Nia Haas, Hedda and Eileen, because they got to have some extra practice too and stuff like that. So it really made their chemistry feel natural in a sense.
I'm guessing it was the writer's strike that delayed it before the actor's strike.
I don't remember. It must have been the writer's strike, because I heard them talking about it through one of the interviews.
Nice.
Other than that, fit of the script and what the script actually was, what the whole dynamic of the script was, it was interesting coming from an outside perspective that knew absolutely nothing about any of this. And in fact, when you brought it up, I asked you if this was a horror movie just based off the font.
That was the only thing you knew going in. Was it doesn't sound like a horror movie.
It doesn't sound like a horror movie, but the font definitely makes it look that way.
It's a social horror movie.
But I definitely wasn't expecting that amount of manipulation and like chaos, and like for somebody to sew it so well throughout the movie, but then have it all fall apart too. I did like that they kind of started this off backwards too, with the all right. So tell us everything that led up to the events of that, or to the events of that last moment or whatever.
Or the book ending of her being in the water with the stones, like
walking in.
I thought that was interesting, but I didn't think too much into it. I don't know if that's just me subconsciously turning off my brain so it can, be explained later, but like starting off with, because I got to imagine if you're genuinely awful like this and you have any type of sliver of self-awareness or self-reflection, it must be a miserable fucking experience. Like, I have to believe that, because if you're this awful of a person and all you do all the time is play with people's lives for your own enjoyment because you have nothing you can contribute of substance to anyone else's life, like positive substance, like I hope it's horrible, because if people are just loving life being this awful, that is much more depressing to me. But like, it's just starting off with that image too and then ending with it. That was another thing. Apparently the original male character who was gender flipped died in the original play, and didn't have be more ambiguous at the end.
Yeah, because that was one thing, I guess, in the play. She gave a gun to her love interest, and then he went to the brothel and then accidentally shot himself and then died through that means. And then she didn't like the way that he died, because he was supposed to just not go to a brothel, all that stuff, and not have it be an accident.
Oh, yeah.
Which then leads her to lose control of that aspect, because she wanted to control how he passed away, and she didn't get that choice. And
God, that's
yeah. So the play sounds sweet. Like, I would be interested in seeing the play. And there are movie adaptations of this play. I just don't know if any of them are good.
Well, we know this one's good. Relatively.
Yeah, it just sounds sweet.
You mean like a more faithful adaptation film?
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I think my favorite part was actually, I guess, towards the beginning. The musical score that they selected, or created rather, for the scene where they introduce Eileen. Like at the very start of it, I was like, "Oh, she's about to come! I know it. She's about to come!" Like they did it so well. Like the anticipation was building, and you just knew at some point before it ended, you were finally going to meet this incredible person. And the reveal was done so perfectly that it like stayed with me throughout the rest of the film, even as like all of these things were happening to her, and we're watching everything kind of fall apart for her. I still couldn't get out of my head that original introduction of her, and I feel like that was intentional. So I really like the way that part was done. I don't know how it was done in the play, but I'm with you. I'm really interested in watching the original.
Let's see if there's any Hedda Gabler plays.
We're all going to go to different adaptations.
Well, no, I was going to say similar to how if it could have been pulled, we could have all gone to the Matrix Cosm for Milan's wedding. If we're all able to actually go when your wedding happens and there's a plane nearby, might need to try to swing that. Just as that'd be interesting. Oh wow, geez, I'm seeing a picture from Variety about the Hedda Gabler review. It says Ruth Wilson and Ivo Van Hove's production, and whoever this character is, just has blood coming from their mouth and on their dress. It might have been, I don't know the context of it, but geez, it looks very stripped down because it's two people, a piano, and one other person, and looks like a Diet Coke can as the whole set. But
apparently, you can stream the entire National Theater at Home's version online.
Ooh.
Okay, well, yeah, that's
2 hours and 7 minutes.
That's not bad. I can pause it.
And one of if they have this version as Ruth Wilson from Luther, which if whoever hasn't seen the show Luther, oh my gosh, it's great. And she is fucking fantastic in it as well.
Who is she in Luther? I've seen the TV show, so.
It's been so long, but she was the first person he interviewed, the wife of some murdered victim, and he pulls, this is like first 15 minutes, and he just goes, and then later after the interview, he does a fake yawn to explain what he was doing to his fellow cops or investigators, whoever, and someone else yawns. He's like, see? Yawns are contagious, and when I did that, she didn't do anything, and he suspects there's some kind of psychopathy or something, and I guess since it's set up from the beginning, she's like the Moriarty to his Sherlock, except it's not some like genius, big brain, everything's a mental game of chess type of thing, but like she's the big bad. Fuck, knocks out of the park. So imagining her as Hedda also, fuck, that would be wild. Anyway, yeah, and this has so many pieces. Like she's intimate with the lawyer, the estate planner to an extent, and I love when, based on her different dynamics, there's certain ones where she keeps it so subtle, like, no, I'm looking out for you. You are at your best when you have a little social lubricant in you. But then with the estate planner, she's like, I'm daddy. Like you like how explicit or direct she is depending on the person, and how much, I guess in that case, she needs to cuck somebody, not literally, but like, you know, if there's anybody who's going to be bent over getting hit with a horse crop, it's going to be you, sir. Like you are a pawn on this chessboard, and I'm just a shit ton of queens. But
it's something that she's super good at too, because even like the beginning of the movie, when the party's kind of like just kind of dead, it's a very Great Gatsby-esque party type of party. And the party's very dead, so then she goes over to whispers into the ear, and like the cinematography from her to there to like the music starting to pick up, and then as soon as it picks up, like she's dancing in the middle with everybody.
Yeah.
So that's part of that. Just some cinematography of everything was kind of cool, but just like the way she's able to read the room and like, no, okay, this is what we need right now, right this time. Just kind of like a really good DJ who like can read the room and just like play that perfect beat that has everybody on the dance floor.
No, I love that because she can be so surgical in the most minute way, but then she can also influence everyone in a broad way or set a whole scene just for one little goal. You know, going out, having everyone swim so she can steal the manuscript and put it away and then grab it later.
And the lady's dress.
Or get her husband, when he catches her destroying it, like flip it on a dime, not premeditated, just thriving in the moment. It's just, and it's the worst part is, obviously I wouldn't know if this had happened. I don't believe I've ever been a victim of someone this manipulative to like see your whole world crumble because of one person's machinations, but I just know it happens where people are just playing 5D chess and fucking with people's lives because they can't just be open, direct adults and be like, hey, I feel this, you know, I feel like that was, or whatever, you know, not that I don't see the goal of destroying someone's manuscript as something you can be adult about. Like, hey, I think we should put this in the fire because of this, and this legitimate reason. It's just, God.
Isn't that because her burning the manuscript helps her husband's case for being the academic or that spa is like a professor or whatever, even though like he's not qualified for it.
And even though she might not be alive in the morning because of her own choices, like how you can be someone. And look, I'm not trying to trivialize like actual demons people suffer with, that they're born with, that would lead to this outcome. I don't think there's anything in the movie that signals to us that she has clinical depression. That I think that it's supposed to be a result of her own brokenness as a person, kind of being like, this constantly playing this game is exhausting and I'm awful and maybe it should just be concluded. But like, if she's constantly considering that, the fact that she still wants to preserve her own majesty of the estate and everything, I don't know how you can do both at the same time. Like, I might not be here tomorrow, but let's fuck over two people's huge lifelong masterpiece dream, just so I can know that if I choose to be here tomorrow, I have all the glory I want to, even though they could probably just sell the place.
I don't think it was even so much that. Well, I mean, I think it may have been a part that, but like, he made the comment in the film, and I'm assuming there's probably some portion of it similar in the play, where she says, something along the lines of like, she might as well put on a really flashy party because she may not have any money tomorrow or whatever. Like, I feel like it's the same exact like idea. It's like, she may very well plan to not be here tomorrow, but she wants to make sure that she's remembered, be it for good things or in her case, not good things, because that's what she's able to be remembered for if she were to kind of go on. So that's how I took it. Like, she's going to make sure she goes out with a bang.
But if she could throw the party, but like, what would she give a fuck about her husband's job prospects if she's not?
That's going to be remembered. That party's not going to be remembered 10 years from now. But that man is always going to remember that wife who screwed him over and then decided to just like keel over. Like, you're going to remember that.
Fair enough. I think in my mind, I was like, if I'm that narcissistic, I would hope that if I'm gone, they'll be like, oh, as soon as she left, he crumbled. Man, what a weakling. Like, without her, the bedrock of his excellence or whatever.
No. She's like, I want to make sure I make him crumble. And she did. Well, she did a lot of stuff.
God, it just feels like we could all fill in the blank of the connection I'm having is like every single human vacuum. And by that, I mean like billionaires who just got rich and like became millionaires, but then it was never enough and they kept going and just at a certain point, you're like, it can't even be for the love of the game anymore. What are you doing? Like, why do you need to do that? Can you even justify it in a way that can't be dismantled? Like, why not just just be happy at a certain level? But God, I wish I could understand people at that level of, I don't know what to accurately call it. I don't have the psych degree. I could throw out a bunch of words that I could guess, but I can't understand the mind of someone like this. Fascinating as a fiction, horrifying as a truth. Whew.
The last thing I've got is this movie really feels like it's hunting for award seasons for Oscars and stuff like that. I think that it'll be nominated for quite a few things, and I hope it does.
It came out last year.
Was that last year?
So,
yeah. I didn't know if it came out late enough.
It said October, I think, of 2025, so it would have been included.
Oh, that sucks, because I don't see anything.
Honestly, I don't know how I found this movie, because, in all the other big productions that are, it received several award nominations, most notably a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress. And it was recognized by the Golden Globes, Gotham Awards, and Indie Spirit Awards, but shut out with 0 nomination at the Oscars. But like, who fucking cares about that? And, like, I know just by popular random buzz and not looking for it, the only movies I knew Nia DaCosta did before this one were obviously Candyman, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and The Marvels. So, I mean,
I think she's got one more, doesn't she?
Probably, yeah. Let's.
I think she's got one early one.
Yeah. Let's see.
Little Woods, Candyman, The Marvels, Hedda, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. So she's got one more, the Little Woods.
I think she also did some TV show kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, there's
one episode of Top Boy.
She also did Verizon Look Behind You this year, which I kind of love. No idea what it is. Obviously, it's an ad, but also Avengers Assemble Flight Force. Oh, she also did a Candyman short. Anyway, you know,
She also has a master's degree from the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama.
yes. I'm guessing that was her film degree. Or
I would imagine so. Yeah, in London. Yeah.
Nice. She's got, in terms of directing, 2 upcoming ones. There's a Pitch, and she's the director of The Lincoln Conspiracy, and Southern Bastards, another TV show. So cool.
It's kind of wild that she did, like Candyman, Hedda 20 years later, but then also did the Marvels. Like, she seems to be on the very, on the darker side of things, but then does, Miss Marvel. I'm glad she got to do a Marvel movie.
It's crazy. I mean, I was going to say, look, the Marvels, and she even said it wasn't her film at the end of the day, and it pisses me off because everyone involved was so great. And God, that movie I was so excited. Anyway, that is objectively the unfortunately worst one for all the underhanded stuff. But from what I've heard about the Bone Temple and this film, of her films that I've seen that are not the Marvels, it's interesting that for me, it was still good, but not the best. Like, it was at the lowest of the rankings. Was her most popular film, which I think is The Candyman, obviously excluding Marvels because that's not her film, unfortunately. But God, she's such a fucking talent, and people should already be chomping at the bit for everything she does. But I think 28 years later, The Bone Temple didn't do well at the box office. I don't know what's going on. If they're just failing at the marketing, or maybe the first 20 years later, people didn't enjoy. I haven't seen it yet.
$58.5 million in the box office for 28 days later. Or 28 years later, Bone Temple, sorry.
And let's see. Candyman 2020.
77.4 million in the box office.
Yeah. But they also marketed that a lot with Jordan Peele's name. So people were literally thinking he directed it, similar to the recent Him. That's the first time I ever heard of her name, because someone on Threads or some social media was like, fuck no, it's not Jordan Peele's, it's Nia DaCosta's. Get it right, he produced. But God. Yeah. Cool. Anything else, Brad? All right, well, let's see if my sleep deprived. I'm going to go lowest to highest. It could be a edibly joint, an edibly mushroom, or a mushroom. But no matter what, Hedda is dope, because movies are dope. Yeah. And one more thing, and this will be first because we had to do a two-hander for Project Hail Mary. So I don't mean to exclude you, but is Hedda better than Project Hail Mary, Brad?
I'm going to go with no.
Yeah, I think you'd die.
What was the movie we did before that? Before Project Hail Mary?
It was not better than this one. Let's see. Before this one was The Bluff. Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think I've already can agree. This is better than The Bluff. And yeah, I wouldn't say this is better than Project Hail Mary. Next time, I'm going to do a run through of all the films, because it occurred to me we can have a back-to-back, but we can also have an all-timer. But just so everyone's included, we might have to exclude Project Hail Mary from that one, because I think you'll
judgment. I trust y'all's judgment.
Yeah, but I don't want 50 movies from now being like, okay, Milan, you can't weigh in if this is the all-timer, unless you see Project Hail Mary, and then we'll incorporate it then. But the all-timer has to be all three of us, unanimous. Just, one for all for one. Three Musketeers, ignoring that there's always canonically been a fourth Musketeer. What? There is! Apparently. I don't know. I didn't read the book, but...
I didn't know it's for.
I know. It's very strange titling. Anyway, okay. One more time. Bye-bye now.
I'm living in a movie, there's a scene you gotta jump. I got my people at the viewing who all knew me selling tickets. Yeah, they talking about the beauty. I see Scorsese outside saying this isn't cinema. Free man, I ain't doing shit tomorrow, I don't need plans. I'll be kicking it till April off for $3 grand. I don't even need the money, I just need fans. I just need fans.